I had a guy write me today, and he asked if he should go to a private college for $22,000 a year to pursue an undergraduate in psychology so that he could get into clinical graduate school or go to another university, the state university, for far less. I told him to go to the state university because it's the wise economic decision. But you know, it doesn't seem to me that it's reasonable at all to load people up when they're 22 with $100,000 in student debt that they cannot declare bankruptcy for. It's indentured servitude. And to load up people when they're 22 or 23 with debt of that magnitude, it's like, well, how the hell are they going to be entrepreneurs? How are you going to take a risk with a $100,000 debt load? And who's going to marry you? Well, really, Jesus, you know, because another story I heard recently was, well, I just got married to my partner. She brought into the marriage $120,000 in student debt. It's like, oh my God, it's like, that's crippling, man. Like, once you're making a substantial amount of money, if you're fortunate, maybe you're in your 40s, you could handle a debt load like that, but in your 20s, it's just crippling. So, you know, the tuition fees have ratcheted up like mad in the last 30 years. The colleges and universities have become unbelievably administratively top-heavy. They're regulated to death by the legislative system, so there's ethics committees which are so counterproductive that it's just unbelievable. There's this entire whole new monstrous hyper-accommodation movement that borders on, I'll make a video about that soon enough, that's absolutely pathological. And there's this whole postmodern neo-Marxist idiocy that's going on in the universities. And so like, well, how many mistakes does an institute, plus students aren't being taught how to speak, they're not being taught how to debate, they're not being taught how to write, and they don't read difficult things. They read French intellectual postmodernists, right? And they probably don't read those either. They read they skim secondarily derived papers about French intellectual postmodernists from the 1970s. And the standards have been lowered because there's too many people pursuing higher education. And so I think, okay, there's 8 dimensions of success, and on every single dimension there's failure. The system's done. And so the vision would be, why not provide everybody in the world with high quality education in the humanities for like 1/50th the cost? You can charge for accreditation. That's a whole separate issue, right, accreditation. But the resources, it's like, why not make them available to everyone? So that's the plan. I mean, I don't know if I can do it or not, but that's partly what I'm doing with this biblical lecture series. It's sort of putting my toe in the water. But I have a plan. And I have some good programmers who are willing to help, and there's lots of people out there that would help. God, I'm being flooded with offers of help. I'd love to take people up on the offers, but it's not that easy to get someone to help you do something, you know. So that'd be the plan. It's like, so what would the plan be? Give people a high-quality education in the classic humanities, teach them how to speak and write, accredit them for 1/10 the current cost, and do it with millions of people instead of tens of thousands.